single lovelies, it's Denise, and I'm just going to jump right into this. This is a very, very important episode, and the reason it is because I have heard a lot of rumbling about this, and I just thought, let me help if I can. So, what the heck am I going to talk about today? Well, today we are going to dive right into something that I feel that every single one of us has felt before. And what is that? That is the wave of anxiety that we have before we actually have our first conversation with someone new. I'm not talking about being on the date, okay? I am not talking about meeting someone for that coffee, cocktail, or a meal. I'm not talking about what am I going to wear moment, because something is going to happen before that. What I am talking about, okay, is very simple. It is the first connection, meaning the text as well as a voicemail or, hello, a live phone call. This is where we need to get our anxiety out the door. And we have to create some type of flow where it's so comfortable and not having this type of, awkward silence. So I just want you to know this. You are not alone here. Everybody freezes up. I have frozen up also being on the phone the first time with somebody. I'm not comfortable. So I have learned this. And you will know, okay, from the moment before you start, from the phone to texting, you need to decide how do you want to approach this. If you're going to text something, you might think to yourself, does that sound cool? Does that sound desperate? Oh my goodness, that sounded a little creepy. Was that charming? Or am I just being so confused that I'm confusing this other person? So I don't want you to fall into rewriting all these texts and going into this delete, forget it, I didn't like that, let me start this all over again, and suddenly speaking with a stranger is like you're trying to defuse a bomb. Let's just break down, why does this happen? Because it's happening to all of us. Because in those very early moments, it's not just about how we are sending our words. It is about sending a version of ourself, right? We need to be truthful because you did the work. What are your ingredients? You want to put that out there. And we want to, have the right version of ourselves. We need to be very honest. You want that text to get the date, right? You want that text or phone call to make somebody feel desired, not the one that is going to scare the hell out of them. And then it all just comes crashing and it's just a total disaster. So we're going to talk about that so that this does not happen. So where am I going to begin? Let me think about this. All right, let's talk about how to get rid of the past fear and the anxiety, right? In your voice that's saying, am I going to mess this up? Don't do that to yourself, all right? You're not going to mess this up. This is a whole new journey. This is great for you, right? We're going to do all the stuff that we need to do to get that out and going forward. And this is where Food Talks absolutely applies here, because the way someone reaches out, okay, is like the first little appetizer to what is going to come, right? Because you're trying to either plan the date or you're going to realize through that text or through that phone call that they're not for me. So you need to pay attention, but we first need to relax. We got to get rid of this anxiety, that fear that you're feeling, okay? Because it's not because you're about to talk to the person. It is coming from the pressure you are putting on yourself to be perfect, to impress. But here's the best news. This is the truth. You do not need to impress anyone. okay, on the first conversation. You just need to connect. Connection is not a performance. Connection is present. It's a presence, right? So let's just break this all down. So before you text or you call, let's just reset ourselves. Talk to yourself. Most people have to think about an opening conversation. So that's good, right? So don't get yourself crazy about it. Stop. You're going to flip it. You're going to think a little bit more about your new thoughts. It's not, oh, I hope they like me. No, I hope I like them. You see, this is not in a judgy way, but this is in a grounded, confident, I'm choosing to way. And when you can talk from that place and come across more calm and clear for yourself, game changer. So write this down, okay, if you need to. You are not auditioning, okay? You are evaluating. You are not in a contest and you're on their show. They are on your show. And as soon as you can understand that, oh my goodness, all the anxiety is going to drop. So for texting, let's not try to be a poet, okay? You don't have to be witty and clever. You're not putting an Instagram caption on that's adorable. Just be human. It's very simple. You can write something to someone like, how's your day going? I was curious. Why did you swipe on me? Well, that's always interesting, right? Or maybe you read something in their profile and you say, I liked what you wrote about your past vacation. Sounds like you had a great time. Tell me a little bit more. That's it. No pressure. No speech. No script. And here is the true key. Okay, so please listen. Your first text isn't supposed to create chemistry. It is to create comfort. See? Comfort is the foundation to chemistry, not the other way around. Remember that. All right. So for our phone calls, let's prep our energy, okay? Not our lines. Just be real. And if you feel that you have to rehearse, a monologue, don't do that. Please don't do that. Because it's going to make you sound very stiff. It's going to make you sound robotic. And it's going to make you sound a little bit overeager. So a better approach, let's take some deep breaths. Let's feel our body, right? Let's get relaxed. Let's get our shoulders. And then smile before you answer that phone call or before you make it, because it will literally change your voice. And remind yourself, you are just a person trying to explore a possibility with another person. That's it, right? You're not trying to seal a business deal, all right? You are just listening to someone's voice and seeing how it feels in your world. Also, have one or two questions ready, okay? But nothing heavy. This is not 21 questions. Do not do an interview with someone. You might want to ask someone, do you have any hobbies? Or how long have you been living in the downtown area? What do you like to do on the weekends? That's it. What it does, it opens this up for that person to feel that they can have a back and forth without the pressure. It gets them talking. It shifts you out of that anxiety and into curiosity. And curiosity is confidence' best friend. Also, remember, you need to allow space in the conversation. You are part of this conversation. So if you are nervous, say, I'm a little nervous. People will find that charming because it's real. Nothing fake here, all right? If you feel that you need to pause and think about something you want to say, pause. You're not a late night talk show host and you have to fill in all that silence, so don't worry about that. And one of the sexiest things that you can do in a conversation is just create that ease for someone. You know, ease tells the other person that I am comfortable with myself. And that type of energy is very, very attractive. And here's, you know, a big one. Please do not pretend to be someone you're not. Don't try to keep up with someone else's conversation if you're feeling too much pressure. You know, you don't have to keep up with their pace or their jokes or their intensity. Stop. That is not connection. That is performance. Connection feels very natural. Performance is exhausting. So, take that for advice. And listen, this is not an easy thing to do, but just, you know, from the beginning, it's listening to what's tasty and not tasty also, right? You want this to be an effortless beginning. Life brings us so many challenges. You do not need this in your first conversation with someone. All right, so just pay attention. And finally, you need to celebrate yourself because you are showing up. Every time you put yourself out there, even with just a simple hello, you are choosing hope. You are choosing possibility. You are choosing partnership over hiding. And that's great. Okay? That is very brave. That is absolutely beautiful because you deserve that. And you deserve to acknowledge that you are also a huge part of this universe that wants to give to someone else. And you want to also discover someone else. And it's just as important about discovering you and your feelings. So when you're talking to somebody on the phone or you're texting someone, okay, pay attention again. You're going to look for those tasties. Do they make you feel calm? Does that person make you feel curious? Do they make you feel safe? Excited? All right, these are all good things. But then we got to flip it. We're going to look and listen to the not tasties. Like, was that text very confusing? Did it give you a little bit of anxiety? Was the person on the phone a little bit overwhelming for me? Did they just drain the hell out of me? Because food talks very loud and clear here, because before you actually have a face-to-face date, those conversations through text and phone call, they talk too. Now, and I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited. Before you go and you share a table with someone to eat, okay, remember something. You are not chasing anybody. You are choosing someone. And the right person will meet you where you are, with the clarity, with the warmth, with the ease. All right, my single lovelies, I hope that this has been helpful. Let's take a breath. You send that text, you make that call, and just let it unfold. So, remember, the connection is going to start simply with just an honest moment. So I hope this has helped. I hope I hear from you over the weekend. You know, it's so important for me to hear your stories and share them, because when we share, we learn. Okay, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Food Talks, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.